Okay, everybody's been warned. Okay, today we're going to be talking about the Osher Lifelong Learning Institute at the U of O. And a lot of our programs here in Rotary are about youth learning or young homeless learning and those kind of, or music learning. But this is learning that we can all participate in, and we're all lifelong learners. So the Institute at the University of Oregon is part of a national network of over 120 programs designed to engage in seasoned adults. Don't you love that? Seasoned adults in the continued pursuit of knowledge. It's an intellectual and social community of engaged adult learners with 3 program sites: Central Oregon, Eugene, Springfield right here, and Northwest Oregon. So over 800 members participate in a wide variety of lectures, courses, peer-led studies and discussion groups, and educational tours and field trips, and shared interest groups. An annual or 6-month fee unlocks access to the program offerings for fall, winter, spring, and summer terms. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to both Kate and Steve and let you guys take it from there.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to
Hey, you want to go?
Steve, I know you're going to start, but I just wanted to say that I spent many years in Manhattan Beach, California, and there was a wonderful, wonderful Rotary down there that did so much good in the community. So I have the utmost respect for Rotary.
Oh, good.
All right, Steve, take it away.
Okay, thank you, Kate. And thank you, Chris. Thank you, Christine, who invited us. And also, I want to thank Kathleen Wagner, who worked with Kate Nelson to help us. We're delighted to be here. It's a great opportunity to talk about us. Chris, you've already stolen a little of my thunder with your description, but we'll go into it in more detail. And I'm going to share my screen right here. Let's see. Make sure we get this. Okay. Can everybody see that?
Uh-huh.
Okay, very good. Yeah, the Osher Lifelong Learning Institute at the University of Oregon. I am the president of our volunteer governing council, and Kate is the vice president. What is OLLI? Well, first of all, the name OLLI, and this is how we refer to ourselves, stands for Osher Lifelong Learning Institute, which is a little bit of an awkward name, but there's a reason for it. We are, as Chris just mentioned in the introduction, we are a community of adult learners. But the name Osher comes from support that we get from a national foundation called the Osher Foundation. It was founded by Bernard Osher, who made a very large fortune in the banking and savings and loan industry. But he was San Francisco based, although he was originally from Maine. And his interest, his philanthropic interest, was very much at education at all levels, including continuing education, which is a little bit unusual. People who are interested in education often focused on youth and underprivileged youth, et cetera. But he was very interested in education for adults. And so he founded what's called the Osher Institute. And he has given support to 100, right now it's 124 actual Osher Institutes across the United States that are affiliated with institutions of higher learning, usually colleges, although there are a small number that are actually affiliated with community college. But as part of his model is you had to have this association with a university or a four-year institution. And we're associated very much with the University of Oregon, and I'll talk about that. Chris, you laughed over the term season. Yeah, we laugh at that term also. But there's a reason for it, and that is because Mr. Osher, who is still alive, he's 94 years old, he likes that term. And so we use it because he has provided very important financial support. So if he likes it, we like it. It's not our favorite term, but the origin here in Eugene, Springfield goes back to an organization called Learning and Retirement that was founded in 1993 by a group that talked with the University of Oregon and agreed to be engaged in a collaborative program with the University of Oregon. So it was a formal relationship with the University of Oregon, and it was initially called Learning and Retirement. And then in 2005, the Osher Foundation approached Learning and Retirement and the University of Oregon and offered to provide significant funding in the terms of an endowment. It was $1 million, so it was not small. And we readily agreed. And so Learning in Retirement became the Osher Lifelong Learning Institute, which is the term for all of the organizations that he has supported. And here's a map, and it shows you that they literally are coast to coast. They are affiliated with big state universities. You'll see many in California, but also Ivy League schools. There's several at Ivy League schools. Johns Hopkins has a very important program. Northwestern has a very active program, and also smaller private schools. So it truly is a national network. And here's a picture of some of our members. If you look, some of you may notice that's in front of the business school at the University of Oregon, where we have a good relationship. Okay, Chris talked a little bit about this, but this is really how we're structured. We're a non-credit program in the University of Oregon Department of Continuing and Professional Education. As Chris mentioned, we have 3 sites: Eugene, Springfield, the original one, Bend in Central Oregon, and now through remote technology, we have what we call Northwest Oregon. So we have a number of members in Portland who attend regularly. We are considered non-credit. We don't take examinations, which many people like, but we are considered technically students at the University of Oregon. We're co-managed by a governing council. Kate and I are part of that, as we mentioned, and also a small number of UO professional staff who are managers at OLLI. So we're supported by professional staff. We're designed for people who are primarily retired, but we have members who actually are still working. The vast majority of our members, though, are retired. And I would say the most common age would be late 60s, if I had to guess, and that's probably true nationwide. And in the last year before COVID, where the data became very screwed up, we served 823 members throughout Oregon. Oh, sorry. Okay, we're connected in a variety of ways. You mentioned the Springs. We have a connection with senior residences, including the Springs, and maybe Kate will mention that a little bit more. We also have a very active program at Cascade Matter. We have a very strong relationship with them. We're connected to the Osher National Network. That's the 124 different OLLIs that I mentioned. We are formerly part of the University of Oregon. We're connected to Oregon Humanities and their programs. We're an accredited site for Oregon Humanities programs. We're connected to AARP and SPIN. I think Kate actually made the first contact with your Rotary through SPIN. And of course, we're connected to the community here in Eugene in a whole variety of ways. Basically what we offer, the way we're structured, is we offer lectures, courses, study and discussion groups, which I'll talk about a little bit more. We host field trips, sponsor field trips, not in the past year, but we certainly look forward to doing that. And I'll have some examples of some that we've done in the past. We have social events like the Rotary. It's not all study. And we have shared interest groups, which it's a mechanism for our members to get together over issues of things of common interest without so much structure involved. And so it's a way that members can get together with common interests like gardening, music, etc. This is an example of some of the programs that we've offered in the Eugene Springfield area, and I'll go into this in a little more detail here. In the past year and a half, courses which involve true academic courses, again, non-credit, no exams, but there are multiple sessions focusing on a single subject. We've done things on women's writers, and this is just an example. Right now, we have a very interesting program going on in the history of Eastern Europe. We just concluded an anthropology course focusing on man's development. We have one-off lectures with speakers who come in. We talked about the nature of the US Constitution, French Impressionism, Plato and democracy. I won't go through all of these, but you can see it's quite a wide variety. It really covers a lot of different areas. The study and discussion groups are ways that our members can get together, and they're volunteer driven to talk about a subject of common interest. And if you look at the examples below, we have language programs where people are able to speak French, Spanish. We have a new group that is studying Italian. We have a group called News and Views that meets every other week to discuss current events. We have an international relations group. Kate is involved in one of our more interesting groups, which is play reading. Kate, you want to just mention how play reading works?
Well, we have a lot of fun. There are about 10 in the group, and we meet first and third Wednesdays. We met yesterday, as a matter of fact, and we read a play. And the nice thing about remote learning is you can put the script up on the screen and we can all follow the same script. We don't have props or costumes, but we totally get into it. We're doing a farce at the moment, and we do the sound effects, and we're just all over this play reading, and it's a lot of fun.
Their group actually presented a play on Zoom to all of our members last year.
And it was an original play written by one of our members, David Cole.
It was a lot of fun. I mentioned field trips. We have taken people to the University of Oregon Observatory outside of Bend up in the mountain. We've toured things like the municipal water treatment facilities. We've had lectures and tours of managed forests. We always, or try always, to take a group down to the Shakespeare Festival in Ashland. We weren't able to last year, of course, but we plan to do that starting, depending on their schedule, starting in the next year. We've also had one of our members talk to us about design of some of Eugene's pedestrian bridges. So we do a whole variety of things in terms of field trips. And we're very much looking forward to starting that again. The COVID-19 situation prevented us from being able to do that, but we hope to restart that. And I talked about shared interest groups. Shared interest groups are member-led, and in other words, they don't involve staff facilitation. But we have people who get together, and I'll show examples. We have a group that is restarting where people get together and they dine. Someone cooks dinner and they'll have up to 8 people. And they, once a month, will go to different people's homes to share a meal. We also have a group that is studying how to write memoirs and autobiographies. At our age, our group is starting to become interested in that. We have a group that hopes to restarts their pickleballers. And you'll see that bottom one, Shinrin Ryoku. This is a Japanese concept called forest bathing. No, you don't take off your clothes and walk in the forest, but you do walk in the forest. It's a kind of a combination of walking and meditating. And we have members who've gotten very involved in that. And again, all of these people hope to restart this. Like so many organizations, and I'm including, and I am assuming yours, we had to deal with the pandemic, and it had obviously initially a huge impact because we weren't able to meet at the downtown Baker Center, which is where we're hosted. The Baker Center is was the former office of the Register Guard, for those of you who remember, 10th and High Street. Well, that's now a University of Oregon facility, and that's where we have our meeting space. And it's a lovely facility. But in March 17th of last year, right around St. Patrick's Day, the university froze everything. We could not meet in person. And so, like so many organizations, we scrambled, and within 6 weeks, we were back up using Zoom and programming through Zoom, through remote technology. And it ultimately, after a rough start, it started to work quite well. And in fact, combining with our sister organization in Bend, we probably now offer more programs than we ever did in the past when we were able to meet in person. We were able to continue to support our member network. We did lose members, frankly, because we have members who simply say, I simply don't Zoom and I don't get anything out of it. But the majority of our members have stayed with us, and we are starting to attract new members. We are developing, and this might be of interest to the Rotary, we are developing hybrid programming now. We're developing plans for that, where we simultaneously conduct programs with both a live audience and a Zoom audience. And so far, our testing has shown that this works. It takes a little bit more skill in terms of facilitation, but it does work. And like the rest of the university, we hope to be meeting in person starting in September. There will probably be restrictions, but we hope to be able to meet in person. But we will be Zooming much, if not all, of our programming, because we have people who want to continue to attend that way. One of the silver linings is that we've been able to collaborate more with our Central Oregon colleagues, and so that we have a lot of joint program. And we're also starting to expand our membership network. I talked about we have members now in Portland who attend regularly via Zoom, and we weren't able to do this before that. Finally, I'd like to conclude with Kate and I put our heads together. We thought about areas in which there might be collaboration opportunities with Southtowne Rotary. And so I've listed just some, and that is, of course, we're always interested in generating greater awareness of what we do. And that's why we're so grateful to have the opportunity to talk with you today. We also possibly could share speakers, programs. We do have access to a wonderful variety of speakers and programs. And some of this might be interesting and suitable for the Rotary. And so that's something that we would be happy to follow up and talk about. Most of our members, and certainly the more mobile and younger members, are big volunteers. They support a lot of different charities, and there may be an opportunity for our members to support some of your charitable programs. We are looking for development of sponsors for certain OLLI programs. There are opportunities for businesses and other sponsors to raise their visibility through sponsorship of our programs. And there may be opportunities for collaboration for social events. So if this is something that merits follow-up, Kate and I would be delighted to talk about some areas where we can collaborate. We do collaborate with AARP, we collaborate a little bit with SPIN. There are organizations we collaborate, but right now we don't collaborate with Rotary, and I think there might be an opportunity. So with that, I will open up for questions. And again, Kate and I really appreciate the opportunity to meet with you today. And I'm going to stop my screen share. Okay.
There we go.
So great. So I'd be happy to answer. Kate and I would be happy to answer any questions that you might have. And I realize it's a lot of information in a short period of time, but I think the concept is pretty. Yes, Ronald.
Yes, I'm actually asking more on, in part because I have a foundation that's focused on music and other arts and neuroplasticity methods, mindfulness to help people with PTSD. And what you're doing actually ties right in with that, because part of the idea behind neuroplasticity, and as people age, is they're not challenging their brains by continued learning. And what a lot of people may not really think in terms of is your brain can atrophy just like your muscles can atrophy from non-use. So the challenge of continuing thinking challenges like a foreign language, which I see you're doing. But I have a theory that I just, it's part of our newsletter that I just appeared before the Senate Committee on Veterans and Emergency Preparedness, and they were interested in my theory of combined music and arts therapy, which it's more involved in just music, but scientifically music's been shown as something that helps stimulate brain activity and can be used for neuroplasticity purposes, primarily where there's trauma and things like that people can sort of wire around that. So it's actually called rewiring the brain. So my question was really, what's your email so I can contact you at your email address and see where we can go from here.
Yes, maybe
Kate,
put it in the chat box if you will.
I will. Kate, can you put our emails in the chat box?
Sure, I will do that.
And I see that Camille asked similar question, just wanted to know how to sign up, where to go.
Okay, and I did want to, Kate and I did want to create a hard sell, but you can sign up online. If you go to osher.edu Oregon, or just do OLLI-UO, you will find us. We have what I like to say is a pretty comprehensive website. I think it's well designed. Osher, there
There it
Kate
is.
just said it. Okay, and so there is an online application. You can also call and they'll send you a hard copy, but it's easy to do it online. Right? Our annual membership cost is $200, and that covers everything. The only exception might be a field trip, such as going down to obviously the Shakespeare Festival, where there's hotel expenses, etc. But generally, that $200 annually covers everything. That allows you to attend every lecture, every course, participate with every discussion group. It is less than most people's monthly cable bill. It is a good deal. We are self-funded. We get support from the University of Oregon, but membership is important. And Kate and I and others in our various committees spend a lot of time building membership. But we do think that this is an exceptional bargain, considering the amount of access you have to programs that are really stimulating.
Also,
So-
Camille added after she said how to join, she says, also, we're glad to accept volunteers for our food box program. She's the one that just got the humanitarian award.
Well, Chris, there might
We
be
have a
way-
volunteer army of people,
Oh,
not
I know.
just Southtowne, other Rotary clubs, other service clubs, other individuals and friends, and anyway, that we have a lot of food boxes that we deliver, and so it's always nice to have any help. And did I
might
say
be-
that right, Camille?
Yeah, that
I don't
might be
know.
worth following up, Kate. We will do.
Yeah, we will.
You can get a hold of me and I'll pass you through to Camille.
Okay, fine.
As
Before
far
I
as,
forget, I wanted to let Ronald know that we have an absolutely wonderful music presenter who has given 2 courses at OLLI. And this is for everybody, whether you've ever even seen a piano or you've taken, numerous years of music. She was great, did a history of music course, demonstrated all kinds of things, did it from her house during COVID, and where she has all of her instruments. And it was truly wonderful.
do you record those sessions that have been on Zoom?
Susie, and I know you have your hands up, and I'll get to you. Chris,
Oh, sorry.
we have recorded only a small number. Our plans are probably to expand some recording. It is the university right now is swamped with pressure to record classes, etc., and they don't have right now the space, the storage space and server space technology to allow us to record a lot of things, because it consumes a lot of data. And right now, of course, they give higher priority to their 4-credit students. So we're toward the end of the line when it comes to, or back of the line when it comes to being able to get that. But we are, and that's short answer to your question, is we are recording some things, but we don't have a big archive at this point. That's something we're looking at as we go forward.
Okay,
And some of the senior residences are interested in that, so it is a way to collaborate.
sure.
You had your
Susie.
hand up?
Susie,
Yes.
I'm wondering if the website is the best place to see what's currently being offered also.
Yes, it is, because it's open to the public. There is a calendar of our events for the month of June, and there's also program descriptions that actually show you what is currently being scheduled now, and it goes out for several months, so you can get an idea. Frankly, it's a little bit lighter in the summer because we don't program as heavily, especially in August. But there are examples of our schedule is on it. So the answer is yes, you can.
Okay.
You absolutely can.
Thank you.
Okay.
Linda,
Yeah,
Linda.
along that same line, I wondered what you were most excited about in this next year in terms of what you have already on the program. What you think is probably one of the biggest highlights.
Well, we are going to be starting a new science course. We're right now looking at a number of different topics. That will start in September. we're just completing a science course on DNA and the history of DNA discovery. So we may be following up on that. We will definitely be doing another history course, probably on an aspect of European history. And we're looking forward to that. The woman that Kate has mentioned, who is a longtime music instructor at Lane Community College, but a very talented pianist and a U of O PhD in piano performance, etc., is going to be giving, we hope, several special conferences or concert programs for us in the fall. So we're looking forward to that. And one of the people who was in one of the photographs I've shown is a retired professor of philosophy, taught for many years at Bates College in Maine. And he has set up, he has a whole series of new lectures on Greek and Roman philosophers that I think will be very interesting. And finally, we have a woman who is a retired art professor from UCLA who gives wonderful lectures with demonstrations on periods of art, you know, early Impressionists, late Impressionists, the Dutch masters, etc. And she's exceptionally good. She will not Zoom. She can only do live. She will only do live programs. And we're hoping that she will restart in the fall. So she has a program already scheduled with Dale Chihuly, the famous artist who worked in glass. And she also has prepared a great presentation on Alexander Calder, the great sculptor. So,
I've got to stop us there. This is
thanks.
Very
so
good
much.
program, Kate and Stephen. You've got got our brains out of atrophy a little bit. It's kind of exciting to think about. One of the things